Malice, I'm sorry, Pusha. Malice washed you on this one. I got some notes. Hey, what's the deal? It's me, back again. We got one of the most anticipated albums, probably hip hop albums of the year, I would say. But besides that, Jid, Cardi got a big one coming up. But I'm gonna say this is definitely one of the most anticipated hip hop albums of the year. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily nostalgia. It's more of a reassertion. So, obviously the duo with Pharrell, no Chad, with Pharrell, and he's crafted some type of cinematic experience for everybody. You feel me? So, it has the grit, it's got the faith, it has the emotional part, and then the lyrical resurgence. I'm gonna get my notes. I'm gonna preview a couple of tracks, and we're gonna see what's up. So the first one I wanna kind of pinpoint on is Chains and Whips with Kendrick. I love when people feature real lyricists on their tracks because it forces them, not to say that they wasn't gonna, have step on nothing, but it forces them to go hard. And everybody went hard on this track. But Kendrick, you could tell he probably recorded this when he was in the midst of the beef and the G and X. He just got different energy now, you feel me? So let's get into Chains and Whips. Cold beat, by the way. Shout out to Pharrell. It's a cold beat.
This is culturally inappropriate.
It's hard.
You run from the spirit of repossession. Too much enamel covers your necklace. I buy bitches, you buy them sections. You buy watches.
Different. We different. Already establishing that. Okay. I like where Pusha is going with this because, he's been behind the scenes so much with everything being running good music for him, and he know where the skeleton is buried. You feel me? So I like how he's setting that up. Hey, you can't talk to me about this. I know what's up.
Crush you to pieces, I hum a breath of it. I will close your heaven for the hell of it. You think it'd be valor amongst veterans? I'm watching your fame escape relevance. We all in a room, but you chasing a feature out of your element. And those lab diamonds.
You're chasing the feature out of your element. I've only listened to this once, by the way, on purpose, because sometimes you gotta run stuff back, you get distracted or something like that. But, whew.
Under inspection, the question marks block your blessings. It's no tombstones in the desert. I know by now you get the message. Uncle said, nigga, you must be sick. All you talk about is just nigga and ice my bitch. Beat the system with chains and whips. It don't
beat the system with chains and whips. Ice my, okay. You got the chains, you got the whips. Keep up.
Take much to put two and two. Your lucky streak is now losing you. Money's dried up like a cuticle. You're gasping for air now. It's beautiful. John 10:10, that's my usual. Mamas is falling out in funerals. And bomb and blow, they now viewing you. They never find the guns, but the sewers do.
Yeah, I like this one, man. Is it just me? Sometimes it's difficult to tell between Pusha and Malice, but there's certain breath controls and the way they even sometimes even the way they pronounce their words, but it's close, man. I used to think they was twins. Are they twins? I don't know. How y'all feel about the hook? I like the hook. Short and sweet.
Nigga and ice my bitch. Beat the system with chains and whips.
Prepare for Kendrick.
I'm not the candidate to vibe with. I don't fuck with the kumbaya shit.
Already. So that lets you know where he was, in his state of mind when he recorded this. We ain't trying to piece up.
All that talent must be God sent. I sent your ass back to the cosmics. The things I seen under my eyelids. Kaleidoscope dreams, murder and sirens. Let's be clear, hip-hop died again. Half of my profits may go to Rakim.
It did that. Me and the homie, shout out to Gene, we was talking about this. If hip-hop died, but I say that Kendrick probably got hip-hop kicking for another 5 years after last year.
How many Judases that let me down? But fuck it, the West Minds, we right now. Therapy showed me how to open up. It also showed me I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he was in this mode, man. I'm not big on horoscopes. Do y'all think that him being a Gemini has something to do with him, like how he went at Drake? I want to get to the Drake thing. I want to focus on this, but just think about it. Peep the gin wordplay. I don't know if people are catching that. Everything he say, like every bar, he throwing gin in there somewhere.
Up out of here, this shit get gentrified. Heavy jeans like Genevieve's. I drop your Pentagon and show up at your gender reveal and tell them, give me mine. I son niggas, I am the general. Where my gin and juice? Every song in the book of Genesis. Let the sonics boom.
Hey, he's going in with this gin scheme. Whoo! Okay.
Want the tea on me? Well, here's the ginger root. I generate residuals, bitch. Get off my genitals. They say I couldn't reach Gen Z.
Here's the ginger root.
You fucking dickheads, you must be full of that ginseng. Here comes the jinx, yeah. They genetics been synthetic, screaming they genius. Finger wave, they all fall. Niggas is Jenga. God.
Wow. They say I couldn't reach Gen Z. We all know that was a lie.
Me like a good year full of free will. Card tell me not to spare your life.
Bro, he was hot. He was hot. We're gonna stop it there. So that's one of my standout tracks. I'm sure it's a lot of other people's, but you know, Pusha came with, you know, the very he always had like very razor sharp, you know, type of deliveries. You feel me? Kendrick got the depth, but also just he's still on that bravado, man. He's still on that like, who wants some, you know? I don't think that the production was too crazy, and sometimes you want it to be that way. You want it to be minimal. So like I heard Alchemist say the other day, like you want your artist to feel inspired to write to something, and sometimes if there's too much going on, you might lose that inspiration, you know? So it was pretty minimal, but I like it. You know, they were all in their pockets on this one. It was really well A&R'd. I wonder if they had anybody else lined up for that verse, or it was always just Kendrick's. I like that one though. I'm actually glad they didn't choose it as, it might be a single later on, right? But I'm glad that they had other ones, and this is just kind of, for now, it's a B-side, like deep cut type thing. So I like that. The next one I wanna chop it up with y'all with is So Be It. So I was out of the country when this dropped, and I came back, and I actually didn't listen to it on purpose because I just wanted to listen to everything closer. I just wanted to listen to everything at once. I heard Ace Trumpets. That was cool enough. It made me interested in the album. You feel me? But the first time I heard it was today. I just heard it once. But I will say I see why this is the single. Out of everything on the album, this is probably the most like adventurous beat that Pharrell gave us. You know, you got the Middle Eastern ting like violin, and you know he got some reverse 808s in there, and yeah, it was really good, like just as a backdrop to the track. Malice, I'm sorry Pusha, Malice washed you on this one. He went hard, man. Shout out to the engineer, whoever the engineer was on this one. They dropped the beat on and made sure like he had a good punchline when the beat dropped. You know, they had the Travis Scott thing. I like how he had to say it at the end. Like he just felt like he had to get that off his chest, which is, you know, interesting. But yeah, Pharrell's production on this one really, really shined on. You know, the energy was good. It was just straight to it, man. And like I said, that Middle Eastern, like violin or whatever it's called, you could hear it obviously, but that one did a number on this track. So yeah, let's get into that one real quick, just a little bit of it, because y'all probably heard this one, but yeah, let's get into it.
16,000 square, 8 million up there, 2 million down here. It ain't no secret, so be it, so be it.
Yeah, that's a reverse 808. Yeah, with this one, it's just he just really was in his pocket, and you could tell the bed. It was perfect. It was perfect for this track. Perfect for this track. I really like this one.
Switch is ready. She leaning on Celine cause she ain't stepping into Giuseppe. Catch a $150 like each Pirelli. I got 8 of them, call me Andretti. If I'm not in the telly, sell it.
I might point out a couple of bars like here and there if they're really, really cold, but I really just, with album reviews, I really like to just talk about everything, the production, the A&Rs, the A&R work or whatever, the just like how they order the tracks. Like personally, with The Birds Don't Sing, I think that should be a little further down. I wasn't really, it's a great track, but I just felt like they should kind of started with something else, a different tone. But, you know, you feel how comfortable they are? This seems like a very CLIPSE track. Even if you want to go nostalgia, let's speed up a little bit, go to Malice's part.
So be it, so
be it.
Smoke. So be it, so be it. You ain't solid, ain't valid, you ain't malice. Been quiet, ain't riot, you ain't Paris. Blow money, you owe money, we ain't balanced. You ain't believe, God did, you ain't Khaled. All black, back to back, this ain't traffic. Wrap your head round that, you ain't Arab. Y'all tweet, bird talk, we all parrots. Lone Star, cross the border, we like Dallas. 21, guns salute, we been savage. Tag 'em up, add 'em up, them niggas average. Fly 'em in, fly 'em out, only the baddest. If I had her, then you had her, she never mattered.
You see what I'm saying? This reminds me of like, when's the last time you heard it like this? Remember that song? Yeah, that's what I get from this. Wow. So yeah, I really like that track. That was a really good single for them to have, good second single. Yeah, it was just really good, man. I'll say that, you know, throughout the album, you could tell it's very high concept. It's kind of like a double-edged sword a little bit because, you know, you got Pharrell's, like, this is very Neptune of Pharrell, right? We kind of got Neptune Pharrell. We haven't got that in a minute. He doesn't focus too much on percussions on this one. He got some good synths. The stadium-sized drums, you know, they're going on tour soon, so that's really good too. It just feels polished, you know? It feels complete. Yeah, but it has that rawness too, you know? So I really like that one. But one of my favorites, oh, by the way, Tyler went in too on his verse. I want to run through the whole thing, but his verse was crazy on that POV. So definitely tap in with that. But one of the things I want to highlight is the A&R work on this one, the beat selection and the artist that they chose. You got Tyler, you got John Legend, you got my boy Stove God Cooks, who we're about to get into in a minute. And he just, whoever A&R this, I'd love to talk to you because they really pinpointed on who's popping right now, but also who would cater to the feel of the album. And to me, Stove God Cooks, perfect on this. Hold on 1 second, I'm about to pull this up. FICO is not only a really good A&R track, but beat is crazy. It's probably my number 2 beat. Actually, I'm sorry. This is probably my number 1 beat is FICO. Then So Be It. But FICO is crazy. And to put Stove God on there, genius. So, yeah, let's get into FICO real quick. It kind of disrupts everything, you feel me? That beat just, everything kind of just flows in this album, but that beat just, it stops everything. And then it starts its own kind of like, you know, just puts a stamp on the whole album like, hey, it can switch up at any point, you feel me? I love that. Love this track.
Niggas get the luck of the draw. For others, life is a dice roll. And waiting on faith ain't for us. When you young, you realize that you can't trust the mouth where the pipe go. They tried but couldn't love you enough. Dance music on my neck. Where's your water bottle? Diamonds, the light show. Looking like the sun in the club.
So let me go back real quick. So Stove God, you know, he's from I think he's with Griselda. I don't know if he's officially signed, but this Stove God is the best at hooks. It's the way he approaches them, but I'm so glad they got him on the hook of this. Sometimes I always wonder, like, when artists reach out to people, like, they're like, hey, I want you to do this hook. To me, you really, really have to appreciate somebody's work to get them on the hook, because that ties in the whole song, you know? And man, it's just a really good solid A&R, spotlighting Stove God Cooks, especially on this track. Come on, man, listen to the track.
If you re-ing up with us, then your credit score gotta be FICO. I'm talking 850 a bus. See, you really willpower when you make niggas balance on tight ropes. They know they not much for the blood. Have my man shoot your block, I'ma send his ass far as the flight go. Ain't worry about duck.
Got the beat drop, and then you about to have the hook after he finishes verse. It was really well orchestrated. He was calling it my show. He's singing for his life. I'm gonna stop every once in a while. It's still about the bars. The reason why he's so good on this hook is because it's the way he drags his words, and it just has that grit to it. So shout out to Stove God Cooks. I'm so hypey on this track. Shout out to Stove God Cooks, man. This is just a perfect blend, man.
So strong you got.
He just creates an image, right? Like the portrait that he paints when he raps, man, it's so good. And he has like little clever things he says. One of my tracks, you know what? I'll probably go back and just like break it down with y'all, and so y'all can hear it if you never heard Stove God. But he has a song called Mellow in the Chip, or Mellow Chip. I'll have to go back and look, but. And then he hits these schemes, man. I'm glad he's on the track. Wow. The thing that I spray gonna make you change minds. Wow. Okay, so that's FICO. You want to go listen to the whole joint, go ahead. But I wanted to go to Malice real quick. So Malice, he don't miss on this at all. He's back. Especially if you gotta listen to tracks like MTB TTF. And he has like a little acapella part where they drop the beat, beautifully engineered, by the way. And he has just that, like, both of them, they have this like villainous bravado, and it really matches the beats well. So I'm glad, shout out to Pharrell for noticing that and picking what beats for which verses and all that stuff. Now, if I had A&R control, remember I told you, I'd flip that opener. I don't know which one I would put in the beginning, but to me, the opener feels too sanitized. It's a very wholesome moment, and it's a very vulnerable moment. Like, placing it later on, to me, would like elevate the album's arc in a sense. You feel me? Like, let the album build, from the raw grit to more, and then you go into the more cinematic, like, peaks and ebbs and flows of the project, So that's just me personally, but, Not necessarily the other way around. Yeah, he hasn't missed, man. Malice has not missed whatsoever. Yeah, he pushed it to this thing too. But Malice, I think that's what everybody was looking forward to. Honestly, I have to be honest with myself. The CLIPSE coming back was cool, but I was really looking forward to Malice returning. You feel me? So. It was great seeing him back, enhanced with the great production. I'm glad that their reintroduction back was with Pharrell. And it kind of brought Pharrell back to that street music in a sense. You feel me? So, I appreciated that. And it was really good feature placements. Now, ask yourself this. If this was the final album that the CLIPSE ever did, would you be satisfied? I don't know yet, but you never know. This might be their last swing, and that's it. It's not a bad offering. I'm gonna say at this point with the first listen, I'm gonna give it a solid 6.5, 7. I'll say a good solid 6.5, 7. There's still some things I want to see. I did kind of meet a lull towards the end, and then they brought it back up with the ending track. But it wasn't to me, this album wasn't a reunion. It was a statement, you know? And I think it was a good one, to be honest with you. So I liked it. Check it out. Let God Sort Them Out. It's my first listen, by the way. So I'm going to sit with it a little bit and then run it back. But check it out, man. Let God Sort Them Out. I guess the next big ones that I know of off top, I got to do Boldy James. I got to do JID. Got to do JID. That's probably one of my most anticipated of the year. And I got to do Cardi. She's been gone a long time, and she got a 23-track, album. So I got to tap in and see what's up with that. But let God Sort Them Out. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the page. It's my first album review, not reaction, album review. Well, it's a little bit of reaction too, but y'all definitely subscribe to the page and let's chop it up. If you disagree, let me know why in the comments. But other than that, for all we know, we out.